Imagine a country nestled right in the heart of Europe. It's a place where history feels alive and well. Grand cities stand proudly on the banks of a mighty river. Out in the countryside, a vast pancake flat plain stretches as far as the eye can see. This is Hungary. It's a land of surprising contrasts and deep-rooted traditions. Here, the whispers of Roman legions, Mongol hordes, and Ottoman pashas still echo through the streets. Yet, it is also a modern nation, buzzing with creativity and a forward-looking spirit. It's a country that invites you to slow down and savor the moment, whether you're soaking in a thermal bath or sipping a glass of sweet wine. It's a European experience that feels both familiar and wonderfully different. When you first arrive, you might notice the unique rhythm of life. In Budapest, the magnificent capital, trams clang past ornate Art Nouveau buildings. People gather in elegant coffee houses that have been social hubs for centuries. But just a short journey away, the landscape opens up into the great Hungarian plain, the Puszta. Here, life moves at a different pace. You can see cowboys, known as kisikosok, performing incredible feats of horsemanship. Their skills have been passed down through generations. This blend of sophisticated city life and enduring rural tradition is what makes Hungary so captivating. It's a nation that wears its complex history on its sleeve, creating a rich tapestry of culture, food, and experiences for us travelers to explore. The atmosphere here is one of quiet pride and warm hospitality. Hungarians, or Magyars, are proud of their unique heritage. They have a language unlike any of their neighbors. They have a cuisine seasoned with the rich, red spice of paprika. And they have a deep connection to their land, from the fertile plains to the rolling, vine-covered hills. This connection is something you can feel. You can see it in the care given to the vineyards of Tokaj. You can taste it in a hearty bowl of goulash, a dish born from the shepherds of the plains. Hungary isn't just a place to see, it's a place to feel, to taste, and to experience with all your senses. As we journey through this fascinating country, we'll uncover the stories behind its grand monuments and its humble villages. We will discover how geography has shaped not just the landscape, but the very soul of the Hungarian people. From the steamy social world of the thermal baths to the quiet solitude of a village church, Hungary offers a travel experience that is both enriching and deeply human. It's a country that has stood at the crossroads of empires for centuries, and it has absorbed a little something from each. So pack your bags, bring an open mind, and get ready. We're about to discover the heart of Central Europe, a land of thermal baths and endless plains. Hungary sits right in the middle of Central Europe, a landlocked nation with a distinct geography that has defined its history. Its heartland is the Carpathian Basin, a vast, flat expanse that dominates the country. This is the Great Hungarian Plain, or the Alfold. It's an immense, level landscape that seems to go on forever, stretching out to the horizon under a massive sky. This plain is the country's breadbasket, a fertile region where agriculture has flourished for centuries. It's the kind of place that teaches you about distance and scale. Driving through it, you get a real sense of the space that shaped the Magyar horsemen who first settled here over 1,000 years ago. This endless flatness is quintessentially Hungarian. Cutting right through the heart of the country and its capital is the majestic Danube River. The Danube is more than just a waterway, it's a lifeline and a historical border. It famously divides Budapest into two distinct parts: hilly, historic Buda on the west bank, and the flat, bustling commercial center of Pest on the east bank. For centuries, the river has been a major artery for trade, travel, and, unfortunately, invasion. It connects Hungary to Germany in the west and the Black Sea in the east, making it a strategic prize for empires throughout history. Today, it offers a scenic backdrop for Hungarians, and a wonderful way for travelers to see the country from a different perspective, watching the landscape glide by from the deck of a riverboat. While Hungary has no coastline, it boasts the next best thing, Lake Balaton. Known affectionately as the Hungarian Sea, Balaton is the largest lake in Central Europe. Its shallow, warm waters make it a beloved summer playground for families. The southern shore is lined with sandy beaches and lively resort towns, perfect for a classic holiday. The northern shore, however, offers a different experience. Here, volcanic hills rise from the water's edge, their slopes covered in lush vineyards and charming villages. This geography creates a unique microclimate, ideal for growing grapes. Lake Balaton is more than just a holiday spot. It's a cherished part of the national identity, a place for relaxation, recreation, and connecting with nature. The country's geography is a story of plains, rivers, and lakes. Beyond the Great Plain, you'll find rolling hills in the west, in a region called Transdanubia, and the North Hungarian mountains, which offer opportunities for hiking and exploring forests. The Tisza River, the Danube's main tributary, meanders through the eastern part of the Great Plain, adding another layer to the watery landscape. This combination of vast flatlands, a dominant river, a massive lake, and gentle hills has created a diverse environment. It has dictated where cities were built, how people farmed, and what kinds of traditions took root. Understanding this geography is the first step to understanding Hungary itself. The huge Great Hungarian Plain, or Puszta, isn't just a place on a map. It's a way of thinking and living. This big, grassy land has really shaped the culture and traditions of the people who live there. For hundreds of years, this was the home of animal herders and horse riders. Life was all about the seasons and what the animals needed. The wide open spaces made people strong and independent. Traditional farmhouses, called tanyas, are spread out across the plain, often miles away from each other. Being so far apart made families very close and good at taking care of themselves. Life on the Puszta was simple, but it was also tough, and it created a deep bond between the people and their land. This old way of life is still very much alive today, especially in places like the Hortobágy National Park, which is a protected part of the Puszta. Here you can really feel what traditional life was like. You'll see the famous Hungarian grey cattle with their long, impressive horns, the fluffy Raka sheep, and the shaggy Mangalica pigs. And of course, you'll see the horses and their riders, the Tiszikosok. These Hungarian cowboys are amazing at what they do. Known for their exciting horse shows, they stand on the backs of two fast-running horses, crack their long whips, and show off skills that come from a lifetime of riding. These traditions aren't just for visitors, they are a proud celebration of a way of life that has lasted for centuries. The land also changed how villages on the plain were built. Since there weren't many mountains or forests, villages often grew naturally around a main spot, usually a church. The houses were traditionally made from things found on the land: mud, straw, and wood. You can still see these charming white houses with their straw roofs in many country areas. Village life was all about the farming year, planting in the spring and gathering crops in the summer and fall. These shared activities made communities very close. Festivals celebrating the harvest, wine, or local saints were, and still are, important get-togethers where everyone shares food, music, and dance. Even today, as Hungary becomes more modern, the spirit of the Puszta lives on. It helps make up the national character, giving people a love for freedom and respect for nature. You can see it in how popular horse riding sports are, and in the tasty, simple food that came from the shepherds. While fewer people live the traditional herder's life now, the spirit of the plain is a big part of what it means to be Hungarian. When you travel through the countryside, you're not just looking at a landscape, you're seeing where a culture began, a place where the land and the people have become one. The endless horizon of the Puszta seems to get into your heart, reminding you of the simple, strong connection between people and the earth. One of Hungary's most unique and enjoyable traditions is its love for thermal baths. The country sits on a geological hotspot, where the Earth's crust is particularly thin. This means that mineral-rich hot water bubbles up to the surface all over the nation. The Romans were the first to discover and utilize these healing waters, building bath complexes in their province of Pannonia. Later, during the 160-year Ottoman occupation, the Turks built their own elaborate and beautiful bathhouses, or hammams. Many of these historic baths are still in use today, especially in Budapest. This long history has embedded the bathing culture deep into the Hungarian way of life. It's not a luxury, it's a part of daily routine for many. Going to a thermal bath in Hungary is a social activity, much like going to a coffee house or a pub. It's a place where people of all ages and from all walks of life come together. You'll see old men playing chess on floating boards, their minds just as engaged as their bodies are relaxed. You'll see friends catching up on the week's news, and families enjoying a day out. The baths are multi-generational community centers. They are places to heal, to relax, and to connect with others. This social aspect is just as important as the medicinal properties of the water. It's a wonderfully democratic and welcoming environment, and for a traveler, it's a fantastic way to observe local life. Budapest is rightfully known as the city of spas, with over 100 thermal springs and a dozen public baths. Each one has its own character. The Széchenyi Bath is a massive, sunshine-yellow neo-Baroque palace with huge outdoor pools that steam invitingly, even in the middle of winter. It's a grand, festive experience. The Geller Bath, on the other hand, is a stunning Art Nouveau masterpiece with intricate mosaics, stained glass windows, and graceful columns. It feels like swimming inside a cathedral. Then there are the historic Turkish baths, like the Rudas or Karali baths, with their octagonal pools and domed ceilings, offering a more tranquil and atmospheric experience that transports you back in time. This bathing culture extends far beyond the capital. All across Hungary, you'll find spa towns built around natural hot springs. Places like Heves, home to the world's second-largest thermal lake, or Harkani and Hajdúszoboszló, are famous for their curative waters, which are said to help with everything from joint pain to skin conditions. For Hungarians, these waters are a source of national pride and well-being. For the visitor, taking a dip in a thermal bath is an essential Hungarian experience. It's a chance to participate in a living tradition, soothe your travel-weary muscles, and soak up the local culture in the most relaxing way imaginable. When you get to Hungary, one of the first things you'll notice is the language. It looks and sounds like nothing else around. Street signs with words like, "That means street," or, "Which means square," immediately tell you you're in a different language world. The Hungarian language, called Magyar, is not like the languages of its neighbors, like Slavic, German, or Romance languages. It actually belongs to the Finno-Ugric language family, so its only distant cousins are Finnish and Estonian. For Hungarians, their language is a super important part of who they are as a country. It's really a symbol of where they came from, and how they've kept their special culture alive in the middle of Europe, surrounded by completely different language groups. The Magyar language is known for being hard for outsiders to learn. It's what's called an agglutinative language, which means it adds different beginnings and endings to a main word to change its meaning. This can make some really long words. For example, the simple English phrase, "in my houses," becomes the single word. The vowel harmony, where the sounds in a word have to match, makes it even harder. But honestly, you don't need to be a master to enjoy how musical it sounds. Just learning a few simple phrases, like for hello, for thank you, and for cheers, will get you warm smiles. Trying a little shows you respect their special cultural treasure. This language being so different has created a strong feeling of togetherness and shared identity among Hungarians. The language is a bond that connects the 10 million people inside Hungary and the millions more living in nearby countries and all over the world. It's how they share a rich history of stories and poems, full of famous writers whose works make the country very proud. When you hear Hungarian spoken on the street, in a market, or at a cafe, you're hearing more than just talking. You are actually hearing a living piece of history, a voice that has held strong for over 1,000 years. It's proof of how tough the Magyar people are. For someone visiting, the language is part of the adventure. It reminds you that you are truly somewhere special. While many younger Hungarians and those who work with tourists speak great English, going outside the main tourist spots gives you a chance to hear the sounds of Magyar. Pointing, smiling, and using a few polite words in Hungarian can lead to wonderful, unforgettable moments. The language might seem like a wall at first, but it's actually a door into the Hungarian heart. It's a key part of what makes a trip to Hungary so special and rewarding, a constant, nice reminder of the country's unique spot in the world. Hungary is dotted with fascinating places to explore, each with its own unique story. The journey begins in Budapest, the pearl of the Danube. The city is really two cities in one, split by the river. Buda is the historic, hilly side, crowned by the magnificent Buda Castle, the whimsical fisherman's bastion, and the colorful Matthias Church. It's a place of grand views and royal history. Across the chain bridge lies Pest, the flat, vibrant commercial and administrative heart. Here you'll find the breathtaking Hungarian Parliament building, the grand Andrassy Avenue, and the lively Jewish quarter with its famous ruin bars. Budapest is also a city of spas, where you can soak in thermal baths like the Grand Széchenyi or the elegant Geller. Heading west from the capital, you'll reach Lake Balaton, the beloved Hungarian Sea. This is where Hungarians go to unwind. The northern shore is my favorite, with its volcanic hills and vineyard-draped slopes. Here you'll find the Tihany Peninsula, a stunning volcanic cone jutting into the lake. The village of Tihany is a charming cluster of traditional houses with thatched roofs, all clustered around a beautiful 11th century Benedictine abbey. The abbey offers spectacular views over the turquoise lake. It's a place of serene beauty, famous for its lavender fields that bloom in early summer, painting the landscape in shades of purple and filling the air with a wonderful scent. Following the Danube north from Budapest, you'll arrive at Esztergom, the spiritual heart of the nation. This is where the Hungarian state was founded, and where King Stephen I was crowned in the year 1000. Dominating the town is the colossal Esztergom Basilica, the largest church in Hungary. Its massive dome is visible for miles around, sitting majestically on a hill overlooking a bend in the river. Standing on its steps, looking across the Danube to the town of Stúrovo in Slovakia, you get a powerful sense of Hungary's long and often turbulent history. It feels like a place of immense importance, the symbolic birthplace of the nation. For a completely different experience, travel east to the Hortobágy National Park, a vast expanse of the This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a protected landscape of steppe and wetlands that feels wild and ancient. It's a paradise for birdwatchers and anyone looking to experience Hungary's traditional pastoral culture. Further south, the city of Pécs offers a delightful Mediterranean atmosphere. With a history stretching back to Roman times, Pécs boasts a 4th century Christian necropolis, a beautiful mosque-turned church from the Ottoman era, and a vibrant art scene. Finally, no journey is complete without visiting Tokaj, the home of the world-famous wine, where you can descend into ancient cellars to taste the liquid gold that has enchanted kings and czars for centuries. Hungary's culture and identity are a fascinating blend, shaped by its unique position at the crossroads of Europe. For over 1,000 years, this land has been a meeting point, a borderland, and a battleground for competing empires and cultures. The Magyars themselves arrived from the east, a nomadic people with roots on the Eurasian steppe. This Eastern heritage can still be felt in their unique language, their love of horsemanship, and certain elements of their folk music and cuisine. They were a wedge of the East driven deep into the heart of Europe. This origin story sets them apart from their Slavic, Germanic, and Latin neighbors, and is a source of immense national pride. Over the centuries, Hungary firmly anchored itself in the West. King Stephen I adopted Christianity around the year 1000, tying the nation's destiny to Roman Catholicism and Western Europe. This Western orientation is visible everywhere, especially in Budapest's grand architecture. You'll see Gothic churches, Baroque palaces, and magnificent Art Nouveau buildings that rival those in Vienna or Paris. The country's legal and political systems were built on Western models. Yet, this Western identity has always coexisted with other powerful influences. The 160-year Ottoman occupation, for example, left a lasting mark, not just in the form of thermal baths and mosques, but also in the coffee culture, certain words, and culinary habits. This mix of East and West, old and new, is what makes Hungary so compelling. You can see it in a single city block in Budapest. A grand Habsburg-era building might stand next to a gritty ruin bar built in the courtyard of a derelict pre-war apartment building. A traditional market selling paprika and sausage might be just around the corner from a sleek, modern shopping center. This is not a country that has erased its past. Instead, it lives with all its layers visible. The scars of 20th century history, the World Wars, the 1956 uprising, and 4 decades of communist rule, are also part of this complex identity, adding a layer of resilience and a deep appreciation for freedom. This cultural fusion creates a unique identity that is neither purely Eastern nor purely Western, but distinctly Hungarian. It's a culture that has learned to adapt, absorb, and endure. It has taken influences from Romans, Magyars, Turks, Austrians, and Soviets, and woven them into a tough, resilient national fabric. For a traveler, this means every corner you turn can reveal a new layer of history. You can be sipping coffee in a grand Viennese-style cafe in the morning and relaxing in a 16th century Turkish bath in the afternoon. This constant interplay between different historical and cultural forces makes Hungary a dynamic and endlessly fascinating place to explore.